The following is a production of the Neighborhood Sports Network.
This is the NSPN Prep Update, a weekly look at scores, highlights, and stories from across the state. Hello and welcome to the NSPN Prep Update. I'm Ryan Phelps, coming to you this week from the M Health Fairview Sports Complex for the Section 3 softball playoff tournament. We'll crown 32 section champions across the state this week, all of them advancing to the state tournament, which starts next Tuesday down in Mankato. Also on today's show, we focus on pole vaulting. We'll have a feature on Jayda Wilson from Roseville, and more information on an athlete we featured previously, Chaska's Joshua Schmidt, who set a state record. We'll also head out of town for this week's School Snapshot. But first, some sounds from the neighborhood as we highlight this year's softball section champions.
And 3 would win it in game number 1. High in the air towards shallow left. Dieters tracking in. She's able to glove it. And they'll throw back to first. Peterson didn't realize it. It is over. For the first time since '95, the Rebels are heading back to the state tournament.
Lang, the runner at second. She's the only person that matters right now. 1-1. Round ball left side. Pass Craig and into left field for a base hit. Coming to the plate is Lang. The throw is going to be cut off. And Caledonia, for the first time in school history, is heading to the state tournament.
Grounded towards second base. Throw to first in time for the out. And Stillwater wins 9-2 as they will advance to Tuesday's state championship.
Up to short, throw home is, oh, he jumped over, he's safe! Unthinkable! This game is tied!
Chopper hit, picked up, across the diamond, and that's it! St. Cloud Cathedral Crusaders win Class 2A Section 6.
She hit it directly at an outfielder, and a line drive, right center field, that's down for a hit. Flores up with it, her throw to the plate, not in time, and Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial is back in the state tournament.
We're here at the M Health Fairview Sports Complex in Woodbury, home to the Section Softball Championships, which fall under Region 3AA and Dan Johnson, a man who ended up here by chasing that baseball dream. Johnson grew up in Aberdeen, South Dakota, what he calls a good place to be a kid. He was a 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, and baseball. He focused on the latter. He played at a junior college in Iowa, then returned home to finish at Northern State. But he wasn't done with the game.
And then just wanted to coach baseball. And so there is no high school baseball in South Dakota, so I moved to Texas. And I was teaching Texas history my first couple of years, and I thought, I'm the only teacher in this district that's never taken Texas history, and I'm the one teaching it. But we all learned together, I guess.
He spent 7.5 years in Texas, then coached college ball at Peru State in Nebraska, and became their AD. He ended up hearing about a job in Hopkins, so he arrived here in 1996 to open the Lindbergh Center and coach the baseball team. 2 years later, he became the Hopkins High School Activities Director, a role he held until he retired in 2022.
And that's when I became the director of the MNIAAA and the region secretary for 3AA. And the conference secretary for the Metro West. Okay. So yeah, in my spare time I try to play golf a little bit, but there isn't much spare time this time of year because it's pretty packed right now.
Baseball is still a passion. He played last year in the over 55 World Series down in Phoenix as a catcher. This week, he's watching baseball as the Region 3AA playoffs and his spring season wrap up.
The region position is one where it's real heavy seasonally in the postseason because that's what we do. We handle the playoffs. And so it's paying sites, for hosting games. It's paying at neutral sites and getting officials taken care of and people that work at the events. If there's equipment to be involved and so on. And then working with folks like yourself that help us with getting the word out there and getting the public view out there and everything.
Some highlights from right here in Woodbury. Softball, Rosemount versus Park. The Irish had the momentum early on, but Park turning things around in the 5th inning. Mackenzie Darso puts the Wolfpack in the lead with a 2-run home run. The Irish would tie the game, but Elena Dames will put the game out of reach with a 2-run shot of her own, her 17th of the season, a new Minnesota State High School League record for home runs in a season. Wolfpack win 9-5 to head to the state tournament. South St. Paul versus Simley, 2 teams that had to play 3 times in the tourney to determine a champion. Simley would get on the board first when Emmy Webinger drives in Charlie Raymond, putting the top-seeded Spartans in the lead. Amelia Campbell would shut the door in the circle, getting a strikeout for the complete game shutout, sending the Spartans to Mankato for the 3rd consecutive year and 4 out of 5. United South Central versus Martin County West. Rebels had to battle all tournament long, coming back from the elimination round, and Olivia Brugger would provide the offensive firepower in the deciding game, with a 2-run double giving USC a 3-1 lead. Mariah Anderson, new career strikeout leader, goes the distance in both section championship games, striking out 10 in Game 2, 12 in Game 1, sending the Rebels back to Mankato to defend their Class A championship. And let's take a look at those brackets starting in Class 1A. United South Central gets the top seed. They'll face number 8 Sabika on Tuesday. The 4-5 matchup, Southland versus Bold. On the other side of the bracket, number 7 New York Mills versus number 2 Red Lake Falls, and it's number 6 West Lutheran taking on number 3 Barnum. In Class 2A, 8-seeded Esco gets number 1 Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial, number 5 St. Cloud Cathedral versus number 4 Rockford. It's number 7 DGF taking on number 2 JCC, and the 6th seed is Visitation. They draw number 3 Caledonia. Class 3A softball starting Tuesday in Mankato. Number 8 Orono versus number 1 Sartell. Number 5 St. Francis gets number 4 Rockridge. The 7th seed is Simley. They'll face number 2 Byron. And number 6 Cretin-Durham Hull versus number 3 Mankato East. Finally, in 4A softball on Tuesday, they start things off 10 a.m. Number 8 Brainerd versus number 1 Forest Lake. Number 5 Stillwater versus number 4 Park, conference rivals. Number 7 Champlin Park, the defending champs, they get number 2 Farmington. And it's number 6 Edina versus number 3 Bloomington Jefferson. We'll have all of those games through the championship right here on NSPN.TV. We often talk about win streaks in stick and ball sports, but Roseville's track and field team sports a pole vaulter who hasn't lost a meet since her freshman year. Mike Peaton scales the story.
She wants to be in 4 events all the time, and we have to tell her, like, you cannot do all of those events all the time.
It's nice that I don't necessarily have a ton of time to like sit and like be with my thoughts and be able to get in my head too much. There was going to be no middle school track team, and my parents have been good family friends with Uland.
I've known Jayda since she was in elementary school, actually. Seeing her and talking to her parents, I'm like, she's going to be great at track and field and at sports in general.
He was the one who first suggested that I should try pole vaulting. That's kind of when I mentally realized I might want to do this in college and moving forward.
We're oftentimes all waiting for Jayda to finish the pole vault. The meet is long finished and we're waiting for her.
Jayda's flirtation with elevation electrifies the crowd at meets, while her coaches cheer her consistency. In the 36 meets since her freshman year, Jayda has won the pole vault competition 34 times, including her current win streak of 26.
Having not lost a meet in all of that time in the state is extremely impressive. Just speaks to her consistency and the way she's able to, even maybe when there's nerves, she's able to stay focused at the task at hand, hit her cues that she has and get the job done.
Athletes, coaches, and fans. Jayda Wilson from Roseville.
I watch her do her thing and I'm just like, I try and mimic it in my jump sometimes, honestly, but I won't tell her that.
Knowing that that's what someone's goal is just like warms my heart, because I know my vault isn't perfect. So hearing that from someone else is nice.
Thanks, Mike. Last Friday, Jayda flung to another pole vault victory in the Section 5 AAA Championships, marking her 28th straight win and 36th of her career. Jayda will go for win number 37 in the Class 3A state meet, and you can watch it live right here on NSPN.TV. More highlights now to baseball. St. Paul Central versus Eastridge. A close game early on, but the Raptors starting to pile up runs. In the third inning, Cade Hamilton with a solid hit to left, scoring Bennett Skinner, and Eastridge leads 3-0. Shut your eyes if you're Central fans. The Raptors clearly not happy dropping to the elimination bracket. Ian Zellinger-Johnson with a 2-run double, part of a 10-run fourth inning. Raptors win 17-0, keeping their season alive. St. Anthony versus Hill Murray. Pioneers coming off a 20-0 drubbing of Harding would be an offensive machine, right? Well, they get enough here. Fourth inning, Asen Kiley with a gapper and shows off the speed, sliding into third with an RBI triple, scoring Jackson Israel. Next batter is Grady Bettner, and he hits a sac fly to score Kiley. That's all she wrote. 2-0, Hill Murray advances to the semis. There's more to come on the Prep Update. We'll go to boys pole vault and find out more about a state record breaker. And we'll continue to profile this year's MSHSL Hall of Fame class featuring the leader of the band. But first, it's trivia time. Pole vault has been our topic today, so what is the state tournament record for both boys and girls pole vault? The answer after the break.
New journey.
Division 3 straight to Division 1.
New energy. Same standard.
The Tommies have climbed to the peak of the summit.
And your Pioneer Football League champions wear purple and gray.
No limits. Welcome to St. Thomas Athletics.
Built live. Built on passion. Built by the team behind the game.
Out to the corner for three! The Irish are rolling! They take their first lead of the game!
NSPN, the Neighborhood Sports Network. Be a part of our crew as a broadcaster or camera operator. Email jobs@nspn.tv to inquire about employment opportunities.
Your trivia question was, what is the state tournament record for boys and girls pole vault? The boys' record was set by Jared White in 2022, 16 feet 2 inches. For the girls, the record goes back to 2018, set by Julia Fixon of Mounds View at 13 9¼ inches. Maybe both records will fall this year. State track and field is June 4th through the 6th at St. Michael Albertville High School. All of that also right here on NSPN. Welcome back to the NSPN Prep Update, coming to you this week from the Section 3 softball tournament hosted at M Health Sports Complex in Woodbury. Chaska's Joshua Schmidt has had a few weeks to let the title record holder sink in. But But it's been a quick shift for the senior, eyeing higher goals at sections and beyond. The senior set the school record as a freshman, has qualified for state 4 times, and clinched the title last year with a state record vault of 16.6. This year, he set the high mark at the Hamlin Elite Meet on his mission towards 17 feet. He finally achieved his goal at the Metro West Conference Meet, his top vault hitting 17.6, raising the state standard a bit higher, as well as his goals.
I've kind of had my eyes set on 18-foot bar since the start of the year. And it was ambitious, I knew that going into it, but I think now more than ever I can do it.
I've been coaching him since he was in 7th grade, and I immediately obviously saw his talent then. So every year since then, I'm like, oh, we still have 5 more years, we still have 4 more years, etc. And now I'm like, oh, it's his last year. And so every moment I've just been kind of like trying to just be in and be present, you know, continue learning as much as I can so I can assist him in being the best vaulter he can be. But yeah, it's honestly been very surreal.
Getting faster is definitely the biggest thing, like just building speed. It's not something like you watch pole vault and it's not something you immediately think of, but you have to be very fast to get on big poles.
Speed is a big one just because he's so technically sound right now in a lot of parts of his pole vault. It's been proven that, you know, if you want to jump higher and be on bigger poles, you need to be faster. And so we've been doing a lot of different workouts in the weight room, focusing on different sprint workouts on the field, working and nailing down his approach and just like the cadence of it. And so there's been like a lot of moving parts.
The 17-foot bar almost felt more unreal than the 17.6 because for the whole season I've been going for it, and then every time it was like, oh, I hit the bar, and then I just got there, I was like, I'm not hitting the bar, so I kind of like freaked out, and then that was awesome. It was a great feeling.
Because like 17 has been the goal, you know, and he's been knowing he can do it for so long. So watching him do that, I was like, okay, let's just have some fun at this point. I forced him, he usually goes up by 6 inches if he clears a height. I forced him to go to 17.3 first, cleared it, to 17.6, and just, I mean, shocked everyone. So I was just like standing there in disbelief, honestly. Like I knew it was there, but like just watching it in person was like, oh. Mentality
is a big thing. That's something I really worked on last year especially, was changing my mentality and believing that I can do every single thing that I put my mind to, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to do it.
At the time of Schmidt's 17.6 vault, it was good for 5th best in the country. He's headed to NDSU to continue pole vaulting and plans to study business administration. Synchronized swimming wrapped up their season last weekend, and your state champions are Stillwater. Again, the Ponies have won 6 consecutive state championships in the sport. In fact, the Ponies have never finished lower than 2nd place in the 51-year history of the event. In all, they've won 23 state synchronized swimming championships. What a run. Rochester Century graduate Madison Haberstad recently became a national champion. The junior at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse won the NCAA Division III pole vault championship with a vault of 13 feet 7 1/4 inches. With that vault, Haberstad becomes the first pole vault national champion in UW-La Crosse history. Haberstad earned a 2nd All-American honor and helped the Eagles claim a team national championship, the 5th in school history. There really isn't a better way to start off the playoffs than this. Farmington started the Section 1 Class 4A baseball tournament with a perfect game from pitcher Brody Gibbard. He also recorded 18 strikeouts in the game. Congratulations also to catcher Matthew Hennon for his assistance in calling the game behind the plate. Farmington won 4-0 over Rochester John Marshall. More highlights: boys volleyball, St. Paul Humboldt versus Eastridge. The Raptors have been proving to be a team to watch this year, but Humboldt played tough throughout. After a Lali Chang serve, a net violation on set point gives the first set to the Raptors. 3rd set, and the point before match point showed the power of sophomore Isaac Redmond. After his senior brother Elisha served, Isaac gets the kill, and the Raptors get the sweep to move on to the 3A final Thursday against St. Paul Central. Bloomington Jefferson versus Eden Prairie. We talk about power in other sports, but boys volleyball is so new to us, we're not yet accustomed to the speed. In this point, lots of great tries, but it's Akra Shukla who hits into the Jaguar block, then falls out for the Eagle point. Match point, and Dennis Koleshnik who gets the winner, 3-0 Eagles, sending Eden Prairie back to the 2A championship as they try to defend their state title from last season. Coming up, we'll spotlight another MSHSL Hall of Fame inductee, and we'll feature Matamidai in our school snapshot.
There's a new destination for all things Minnesota high school sports. It's called Strib Varsity. It's from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you know it's trusted, with a deep bench to cover all of Minnesota. We've rebuilt and relaunched our MN Prep hubs and added more sports, stories, streams, stats, scores, schedules. We have it all at Strib Varsity. Subscribe today at startribune.com/stribvarsity.
Welcome back to the NSPN Prep Update, coming to you this week from M Health Fairview Sports Complex in Woodbury. We'll continue our look at the inductees for the class of 2026 for the Minnesota State High School League Hall of Fame. Today we step off the playing field and honor a musical legend, W. Rayford Johnson. Here's Tim Layton.
Before he ventured north to Minnesota following his college days in Alabama, W. Rayford Johnson grew up in a household of 13 male cousins before a female finally came along, much to his grandmother's delight. As you can imagine, every athletic event imaginable was played with those boys. He loved football, basketball, and baseball, and everything in between.
But the excitement came when I had the opportunity to join the band. My 5th grade year, I was allowed to join the band, and I was introduced to a drum, and I started out on the snare drum. And by 7th grade, my new band director introduced me to the tuba. Then along the way, I learned to play the tenor saxophone, the trumpet, the trombone. My band director could play every instrument, and they played them all equally as well, and he expected us to learn it the same way.
As an 8th grader, Johnson experienced his magic moment when music took hold of his life.
When I was asked to play the tuba solo with the high school band as an 8th grader, the tuba as we know it as a concert instrument was not readily available. It was the sousaphone that you use for marching band purposes. So here I am, an 8th grader, standing in front of the band with a sousaphone playing, an instrument perhaps as large or twice my size, but and producing the kind of sound that was necessary to project over the band. It was quite exciting.
During his college studies at Alabama State University, Johnson felt a calling to pursue music therapy during his master's courses at Florida State. But a determined individual from Minnesota finally persuaded him that the St. Paul Public Schools needed him to introduce the students in the city of St. Paul to the wonderful world of music. Mrs. Mabel Cason represented the St. Paul Public Schools, and her orders were to find an African-American band director. She scoured the nation and began a 2-year recruitment of Johnson that began in 1968.
On our way home, Mrs. Cason pulled the car over. She said, "So young man, what is your decision?"
Johnson happily accepted and began a music education career in St. Paul that would span 37 years.
And I would take time to explain to them what they were hearing and what they should, how they would execute what they were hearing. And that was the greatest part of their development. Every day when I am in public, I encounter one of the former students, or I get a letter or a phone call. That's the indicator to me as to the effect that I had on them.
A few more highlights. Girls lacrosse, Totino Grace versus Stillwater. We may have mentioned Stillwater is pretty good at lacrosse. Case in point, Grace Ranke takes the pass and gets almost as close to the goal as you can, fighting through 3 defenders, scores the game's first goal in 34 seconds. That would be enough, as you see by the score on the next highlight. Rowan Martins closes out the first half of the goal inside the final minute. Stillwater advances with an 18-0 win over Totino Grace. White Bear Lake versus Mounds View. A lot of high-scoring games in lacrosse this season. White Bear Lake puts an exclamation point on the first half as Kayla Helmberger gets a goal before halftime, giving the Bears a 5-goal lead. In the third quarter, more of the same as Helmberger finds the back of the net again. What a game for her. Rare to see a hat trick in goals and assists in the same game. Bears win 19-7. Helmberger with 7 goals and 5 assists in the game. Boys lacrosse, Matamidi versus Hill Murray. How about a closer match? Time winding down in the third quarter and Hill Murray with the possession. Cooper Yagi with the goal that gives the Pioneers a 1-goal lead. In the fourth quarter, tied again. And watch the effort here by junior Mario Fratellone. He spins past the defender for the game winner. Pioneers take it 7-6 to advance to the 4A semis against White Bear Lake. Centennial versus Irondale. Irondale in full control in the first quarter. Colin O'Brien just out of frame, fires from the left-hand side of the screen for his second consecutive goal, giving Irondale a 5-1 lead. However, it's playoff time. We mentioned effort in the last game. It's personified by Nolan Larson on this play. He gives Centennial the lead for good. A comeback win, 15-11 for Centennial, and for Larson, a very happy birthday. He and the Cougars will get Stillwater next in the 4A semifinals. We are in full spring sport tournament mode now. Here's what we'll have this week streaming on NSPN. We start with the state tournaments, softball Tuesday through Friday. Boys tennis runs all throughout the week as well. State track and field Thursday through Saturday. And we'll wrap up section final play as well in baseball, boys and girls lacrosse, as well as boys volleyball. Their state tournaments are next week. All of it is right here on NSPN.TV. It's time for our school snapshot. That's when we get to know the towns, schools, and communities outside the playing field. Matamidi High School, originally named Lincoln Town High School, opened in 1931, initially serving grades 5 through 10. The first graduating class, consisting of 16 students, was in 1934. Today, Matamidi is known for its academic excellence, innovation, and strong community service, and is home of the Zephyrs. Current enrollment is about 1,100 students, and their graduation rate of 98% is among the highest in the state. Ranked as the number 7 best traditional high schools in Minnesota by U.S. News and World Report, MHS offers 19 advanced placement classes and is one of 7% of all eligible schools in the U.S. and Canada to earn AP School Honor Roll Gold. This past year, almost 30% of students graduated with a GPA of 3.7 or higher. The Zephyrs' athletics and activities are off the charts. They have recent state championships in girls soccer, baseball, and girls flag football. They were the inaugural state champs. They have highly recognized musicians and choir singers. And in theater, their Bright Star cast earned awards in 11 categories from the Hennepin Theater Trust Spotlight program. They have 27 sports programs with over 30 state championships and nearly 70 clubs, from pickleball and esports to birdwatching and film studies. In the classroom, Matamidi students designed a cosmic dust collector for NASA in 2025. Another student won multiple awards for conducting Mars living simulations, studying the challenges of sustaining life on another planet. 2 of their students recently won the 2025 High School State Championship for junior bass fishing, and their esports team took home 3 state championships for chess, Super Mario Kart 8, and Minecraft. From A to Z, the Zephyrs really have it all. That's it for this episode of the NSPN Prep Update. Special thanks to Dan Johnson, Region 3AA Secretary, for joining us, and the entire crew here at M Health Fairview Sports Complex as they wrap up the Section Softball Championships. Next week, we're heading to St. Michael Albertville High School for the State Track and Field Meet. Our producer is Justin Barrientos, editor Jake Loftus. Our creative director is Hannah Strenger. For Andrea Mayu, Mike Peden, and the rest of the NSPN crew, I'm Ryan Phelps saying so long from the Neighborhood Sports Network.